You fell into our trap.
Hey guys, it's Phil Harbor.
And Cypress.
And Cecily.
And we are back with the new Pokemon Arceus trailer.
Yes,
Thank you, Basic Draw, for letting us know that it came out. So we are really excited. Yes, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I know you guys found us randomly. Thank you. We do like Pokemon. Yes. And we're really excited about this one because it shows more gameplay, or so we've been told. Right. We've not seen it. So, I
have not seen it, so we're going to pull it up. We're going to watch it real quick, and then we'll just have a couple more thoughts about what we're thinking about what's going on, and then comment more, because there were some more other comments on the other one trying to explain, like, with shinies and other things. So maybe this will answer some of our questions, and then or confirm something, and then so we'll be right back. So let me go ahead, and you're going to see some weird stuff first, but then... Okay, so we're going to go ahead, and sorry for a little bit of this. But we can't hear. Well, I think this is in Japanese. So we're going to go ahead and play the Pokemon Legends Arceus new gameplay overview trailer. Japanese.
It is really beautiful.
It is. And I like the art style. Mm-hmm. The slightly Breath of the Wild. I don't know if it's cel shaded when it's like this.
I don't know. It looks,
Gligar. String.
Oh, yeah, I love the action. Mm-hmm.
舞台は翡翠地方。後に新王地方と呼ばれるこの地では、野生に生きるポケモンたちの生態はまだ明らかになっていません。
それ
ゆえにポケモンを恐れる人も多く。そんな人々が寄り添い合って生活をしている。
I'm glad they fleshed them out a lot more. It's not just random. Everyone looks like each other.
They are just. Oh, that's true. And they are kind of like.
It looks more like like an actual village.
There,
As a fan of, well, I mean, what else are you gonna do? There's no TV back then. And like as a fan of Tenchu and stuff, and Fable, but you can actually see the town. I love it. Oh.
調査はベースキャンプを起点に開始し、野生のポケモンをモンスターボールで捕まえていきます。
He's like, ah!
Whoa. Okay, it's just a level 2. I was like, he didn't.
ですが、簡単に捕獲できるポケモン
Nice
では
dodge.
ありません。そんな時は手持ちのポケモンでバトルを挑み、相手を弱らせることも一つの手段です。翡翠地方のポケモンはその習性も様々。群れで暮らしているポケモンが気配を察知すると
different things. I mean, they're all just like randomly wandering, but
逆に勢いよく襲いかかってくるポケモンもいます。
That's not gonna be me.
中には自分よりもはるかに
Yeah, there you go. I was wondering what happens when you get hurt.
危険を感
So
じ
it
た
doesn't really give a life thing, but you get hit red and you get knocked over.
Yeah. Maybe if you get hit too many times, you like white out and have to go back to town.
ベースキャンプに戻れば体力を回復することができます。
Cute.
そしてあなたの調査をサポートしてくれるのは
Oh, is his
銀
hair?
河団の研究者ラベン博士。博士にポケモンの調査結果を報告すると、ポケモン図鑑に情報を追加することができます。図鑑の登録には捕まえた数、
I guess they can only add the Pokemon up through like Gen 1 through Gen 4, though. I guess they could add some new
それ
ones,
ぞれ
like
の
that
項目
Cleavor
をクリ
guy.
アするごとに内容が充実していきます。調査の本拠地となる寿村。ここでは調査の準備を整えることができます。
I mean, yeah, the people just kind of stand there, but
道具を購入できる。
Well, they do that in every game, though. Like, I don't fault them for that kind of thing. I think it's really cool that...
クラフトや
they look different.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
so I was going to
out.
say that they have more like customization.
It's not so bad in
Yeah.
Diamond and Pearl.
放
But
牧場。呉服屋では服装を。
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, well, we sort of saw that a little bit.
Yeah.
I wonder, so that looks like it's just all one outfit, so you can't really switch necessarily like the head, I mean the shirt and the
weird,
pants.
but okay.
Pokemon to
Ooh,
してみてはいか
that's
が
the
で
new
しょう。
form of
そして寿村にはあなたが所属する銀河団が活動拠点を構えています。
It's like he tied bags on his feet.
銀河団団長の電木、調査隊隊長の島虫たちのもと、ポケモンの調査を重ねることで団員としての評価が上がり、まだ見ぬ地域へと調査の範囲が
Set up
広
gym
がり
badges,
ます。
I guess.
Yeah.
So you are a ninja? Because those look like shuriken.
翡翠地方には不思議な加護を受けた
Real
特別
Bambi
なポケ
vibes
モ
with
ン
him
が
on that
存在し、
mountain.
その中にはあなたを乗せてく
Oh,
れ
he
る
must
ポ
be-
ケ
okay.
モンもいます。ポケモンの力を借りることで、調査
That's
範囲
really
が
cool. You can
さ
go
ら
up
に
into like the
広がってい
mountains
き
and
ま
stuff.
す。
You know, just like
Yeah.
following these paths. Like,
Yeah, I know people are like,
Even if
it's
it's-
not fully...
翡翠
right?
地方で
It seems more
人々から
expansive
敬われてい
than
る
last
キ
time.
ング
Right.
と呼ばれるポケモン。
Alright, she heard
See,
something.
now that's interesting because I thought this was before we connected, but there was a Kadabra or one of those in the family
対抗する策は
was just like in that guy's office. So
と
I
呼
wonder
ばれる
when
特製の道具。
Maybe it's
that
stuffed.
occurred. I thought it was floating. But...
Well, some people are scared of them, but maybe some of them are like, maybe that was the guy who's like learning how to catch
That's true,
them.
yeah.
ぜひ
Please, oh, fight this
挑
electric
戦してみてくだ
bug.
さい。
Oh, wait, no, he was Bug Rock, right? I think.
Oh, you actually are fighting. You're throwing sandbags or whatever.
We saw that before. I think
I
it's
thought it was
to
a
purify
Pokeball.
him. Like once he gets low enough, you can purify him because he had that anger, the enraged or whatever they called it.
そこに潜む
Oh, I
野
missed
生の
that.
It's so
恐
cute how they make the evolved ones look like they're the mommies. To the
Yeah.
His mouth moves when he talks. I mean, that's
そ
a
して
big.
Yeah, that is
幻の
a
ポケモ
big.
ンアルセ
I
ウ
guess
ス
there's still no voice actors, so like no voices.
I've not seen any evidence of that, which is really kind of silly. But
Yeah.
翡翠地方で紡がれる人とポケモン、その
'Cause
始
now
ま
we're
り
okay,
の
so
物語。
that's. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say
Pokemon
now
Legend.
we're so much more fluid. Where,
Arceus.
you know, back in the day, like you really couldn't like they would just translate like in the Pokemon. They would eat odongo, but because we don't really have like a rice ball in American, you know, culture, then it was turned into like a donut. So, but now we're so much more, you know, into just openness with other cultures and stuff. So even if they had like, even if all of the, if it was still all in Japanese, that right now we don't have anyone speaking. So what does it matter if you can't understand it versus no language at all? Like if they didn't want to dub it over. So that's why it's kind of weird.
Well,
that-
because it is made for kids, and so kids aren't going to want to not know
True.
what they're saying. And then if it's subtitled, the kids can't read fast enough. Although I will say they've all been subtitled. I had problems
Yeah.
reading Sword and Shield fast enough. and
yes,
I'm
if you
I'm an
watch our
adult with a-
gameplay with that.
I have a literature degree. I couldn't even read fast enough.
I'm a professional voiceover artist. And I
That
can
doesn't
read
make
this.
sense.
Yeah,
Yeah, you'd think they'd
Yeah.
want voice acting.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like that would be the like the cream, you know, the cherry on the pie. Do you eat cherry pie? I don't know.
Yes,
That's
it's a
I
cream
miss
pie.
my but
Yeah, and like Pokemon Snap had some voice acting. And people are like, whoa, okay, cool. But it was only for like certain key scenes.
oh,
Fine.
at least it's.
But they don't even have that because a lot of RPGs will do that. Like there's voice acting through the cutscene or something, and then when you go to talk to them actually, then you're just reading. Okay, but at least you got in your mind what they're supposed to sound like, or you know, it's
Yeah,
so
it's just-
odd not to have them ever say anything. Like
especially because the Pokemon say sounds. So even like there are
Yeah.
some JRPGs where they're like, huh, and then it says a thing and I'm like, huh?
yeah, and a
You
couple
know, but-
sound files don't take
Yeah.
that much. So I don't know. It's not confirmed that I know of.
Yeah.
Okay, so what was it? Imported cheese?
Yes.
I found someone who did a fan translation of that trailer or whatever you want to call. So we're going to go watch that and we'll be right back. Link to Imported Cheese is below. Please go give him some support. I'm so glad to know that fans are translating things for the rest of us
Thank
fans.
you. Yes.
All right, so we're going to go watch that and we'll be right back. Wow.
Yeah, that was a lot more
Yeah.
informative when you can know what
Thank
they're
you
saying.
so much, Imported Cheese.
Yes, thank you.
So there was a lot, and I think I missed because I started watching and I was just like really enthralled in what he was
Yeah.
explaining. And I'm even more excited about the guy. I was excited before,
yeah,
but I was
I'm
like,
excited.
I think all of us were like, well, I don't know what it's really going to be about. I guess we play.
Right.
What's the point?
Yeah. It seems, there is more of that story and in-depth, like, discovery.
Yeah, and like I love that like time travel backwards. Like those those are my favorite parts of things, like when you learn the history and origin. So
like Hisui. I don't know if you had that on your notes, but okay. So Hisui is. Am I saying that right? Whatever.
I think
the region where you are, where it's taking place, is Sinnoh. It's just back in the day.
Yeah, which was a little bit known, but it's cool. Like, I wonder why they changed the name and stuff like that.
And also, just a side note, because I don't know if we said this, but I really like the music in this one.
The much more traditional sounding music. I played an RPG that was actually Chinese based, an MMO that was, and it kind of reminds me of that. And like, I got so into that game, but like hearing that sort of Asian inspired music, or like this is Japanese, which the other was Chinese, so there are differences, but it's still got a lot of the same, like the flutes and the different like chords and things. It's just
nicer. It flows.
I don't like jazz, and that's the way that Nintendo's been going with all of their music, is like everything's jazz and like loud and brassy, and I don't really care for that. But anyway, so I missed some things that they went over that I was like, I wanted to see it. And anyway, so first of all, what we both noticed was, you're working for Team Galactic?
Yeah.
That might have been in other trailers and I just was not listening or paying attention, but...
I don't remember it being said in the ones that I watched, so I don't know if it was released in some that we didn't watch before.
So what happened?
Yeah.
Like, so is this like they were like on Loki, like, oh no, we're totally about nature, and then they realized later that, you know... So
or
I guess...
like maybe this was because maybe it became corrupt later. Or are they the secret villain in this game, and you find out after, because when you rise in ranks and... Yeah,
maybe. You know, I mean, like, as far as teams go, Team Galactic isn't as bad as, like, Team Rocket as far as, like, misusing Pokemon, but I just played Diamond, so I still can't remember exactly what they wanted to do, but whatever. I thought that was interesting, though. This is a little bit out of order, but... As you pointed out, you liked the base camp.
Yeah, I love that the base camp kind of takes place instead of the Poke hospital.
Poke Center?
Yeah, center. Yeah, where it heals, and it does. I just like that feel of the camp.
More rustic, you know, like you actually are like out in the wilderness. You know?
Which are you going to mention about the sleeping? Do you have that on there? Where it actually does appear that you might. The Pokemon come out at different times, so you might want to sleep until nighttime,
right. I did
or play, you know, like in the afternoon, that kind of thing.
Yeah, because it's like kind of like in any other RPG or something where you're like, do you want to sleep for 6 hours, 5 hours, whatever? So that I think that obviously confirms that there's like morning Pokemon, or maybe it's easier to catch them when they're sleeping. You know? So that is neat. So. He pointed out that when he was when you caught the Wurmple, that it could be holding an apricot or something like that. Apricorn. You know, so
and a round stone.
Right. Yeah. So those are probably like mob drops in you know, like, oh, you caught this, so you can take this. He might have it. So like if you were looking for a whole bunch of round stones for some reason, you just go catch a billion Wurmple. But if an enemy Pokemon can be holding something, that the mechanic of it has something in its hands is still there. So I had heard that there are no held items, but is that true?
Right.
Maybe not. Maybe that is just more like when you catch it, you're like, wow, you caught Wurmple. You got a round stone and a whatever. So it's not actually, but is it on him? Like, you have to catch him and look. Yeah. Does that mean that you could be searching for Scyther and it's holding a Sharp Claw or whatever that's called? You know, like...
So you need to go catch a bunch of Wurmple to get all the berries and stuff. I also thought, I think this was maybe mentioned before, but I really like that you can make the Pokeballs.
Yeah, I like that mechanic. And I know I've heard people complaining that they thought it'd be really grindy and there's so much to collect, and then I guess that's not your game. Like, some people just want to get through the games of Pokemon and then shiny hunt or legendary hunt, and that's great. There are people who like just love the like mechanics of like, okay, well, if I have him hit this for that, and you know, like the type matchups and all this other stuff. I like it for the adventure and like doing things just in the world. So that kind of appeals to me, and I'm a little bit surprised to hear so many people are against it. Because Breath of the Wild, a huge thing was cooking.
Right.
And so you had to go around and collect things to cook. So now if you're collecting things to make Pokeballs or, the bait.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah,
that talk more while I erase.
Sure, yeah. So yeah, with the bait, that it actually shows you which I guess you don't necessarily know until you catch one. But then it's like, oh, well, this Wurmple's like this kind of berry, or this, I couldn't tell what the icons were. They look like beets, and but I'm sure it wasn't. It was like
he read out loud sap, so maybe, but maybe that makes him go to a tree. Mm-hmm. So that is cool.
Yeah.
Oh, the stealth catches?
Mm-hmm.
That's neat. So, like, if you sneak up on them without them noticing you, that's a different kind of catch, which I guess brings us into, there's like a task list.
Yeah.
And I couldn't quite tell, and maybe he couldn't tell either, but is that per type of Pokemon, or is that per, like, region? Okay, like, to complete this section, you got to find out everything about Wurmple. So there was, like, I didn't write down any of the tasks, but like catch a Wurmple that's like 10 centimeters big.
Yeah, went by like the size and the height and stuff. And it was something about like with that one, with Wurmple specifically, it said 10. So it looked like each Pokemon, maybe you have to research it enough to get up to a certain level with them or something.
Oh, yeah, right. To make points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I also want to shout out with the stealth thing. I love the exclamation point. It reminds me of Metal Gear Solid. So that's cool.
So maybe you're getting a little bit more excited for the game.
Yeah. Oh, I'm getting a lot more excited than I was the first time. I'm really, I think this is going to be really fun and really filling.
Yeah. And so, included in that, as you're doing more surveys, you go up ranks. So that is more, like, oh, I'm a 0 star. Gokwan Alice reference. Or like a 1 star. And so I don't know if that's also taking place of like badges, like, oh, well, you can't come here yet, you're only a 2 star, which a little bit is like Pokemon Snap, where you had to have a certain number of points before you could move ahead, or even like Pokemon Let's Go, where you can't come past here till you've caught 50 Pokemon,
Yeah.
But I like that, the idea that you're a rank, like, oh, you're a noob, so you don't.
Yeah. I also like with the ranking, and like you can go different places and stuff. They also mentioned that with the special Pokemon, you can ride on them to go places. So I really like that it's not necessarily just fast pass, be like, oh, we'll take them over there, so you can you don't have to,
like how it was in Sword Shield, where you get on Corviknight
and you just go to places you've already been. I really like that they specifically said go to places that you normally wouldn't have been able to go to, but these Pokemon allow you to go there.
Yeah, and on that note, when he was reading, he said that some of them are called like divine Pokemon, and he was trying to say like the usage of the word divine there means more like inspired or urged on by a deity. So I guess they've got a link to Arceus.
Right.
So it's like maybe Arceus really does want us to all just get along, man. So that's neat. And so that was where like Stantler, they had the Japanese name, but they didn't read it. So I don't know if, and I also don't know what like Stantler and Basculin's Japanese names are. So it could have just been their regional form. It really does look like an evolved form of Stantler, because he looks much more impressive. Yeah. No offense, my boy.
Yeah, I really love, I guess it kind of goes with the more of the traditional culture and stuff like that, but with the spirituality mixing in with the Pokemon, that's really cool too. Yeah. And like, why do they understand? Because they seem, no offense to our animals, but Pokemon seem a little bit more intelligent in that they listen. Yeah, they understand what you're saying. They can't necessarily speak English unless you're like Nyas or Meowth or whatever. But like, so there is, it feels like there is that extra, connection there. Like you're saying, maybe it's through Arceus.
Right. Yeah.
Does Arceus speak like Mewtwo?
Right. Like, well, wasn't it, I think there's another one that can also speak mentally, or was it one of the Lucarios could also talk through his brain? I think Entei could also do it. Like, just randomly. They're not psychic Pokemon, but they're just, I can talk all the time.
But are they...
Lugia,
are they all
could talk to
mythical or
no, Lucario? No, but you're right. Like Lugia and Entei, they are.
Because they were saying that Arceus is one of the mythical Pokemon, right?
Right. Yeah. He's probably the king of the mythical.
Rather, I'm sorry. What's because I always get this too. So there's mythical, and then there's legendary.
Legendary.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's no, from what I've understood, and I could be wrong. Correct me in the comments. Legendary are the ones that are like built into the game, like you're supposed to encounter them and stuff. And the mythical are just the ones that you kind of like hear about. So they're basically the same level as far as like awesomeness, but the mythicals are a little bit more rare because they were either like event Pokemon, especially back in the day, or they're just like the side quest thingy. So like Dialga is a legendary because they're part of, you get them through the storyline, but then just forgot his name. Anyway, that one. I'm forgetting all the, like, not Marshtomp. Marshadow. Like, he'd be a mythical because you could only get him through an event.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. I also wanted to mention, like, the noble Pokemon. They kind of remind me of, like, Kami. Like, little gods that would be, like, the spirits and things like that. So, on that note, we were talking like, oh, you have to throw the little packet of something. So he translated as suppression orb. So it's probably like, you know, something that you just throw them to like drug them so that you can, what can I throw at you to drug you? So you berserk them so that you can catch them. And then like they were translating, it's like, now's your time to throw it or now you can attack. So like it is way more action.
Yeah. I'm loving that. There's more to the battles.
And you also wanted to comment on the old-fashioned notebook.
Yeah, I love it. The Pokedex, is it looks like a notebook or whatever. Yeah. So I really love that it looks like it's like it's handmade and everything. Yeah,
like spiral bound.
Yeah, and I love like I don't know. It's lore, my headcanon lore until they tell me otherwise. But like your character is creating what becomes the Pokedex because he is surveying everything, or she, but is creating that or whatever. So I thought that was really cool. And the imitation cheese was his name? Sorry, the guy who translated imported cheese. I'm sorry, who actually was doing like fan translation said something about notes. So I don't know if you can add notes into it or if as you discover there will be notes where you can read more, which is basically like the entries, which I thought was really interesting.
Yeah, before I don't know how you would be able to
I don't know why you would. So I think I misunderstood what he said, but I really like that it gets fleshed out like that.
Mm-hmm. Just like a very side note, we noticed that the money was listed as yen. Yeah,
that's weird.
Whereas at least in the English versions, it's got the little weird P for like polka dollars or something. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if maybe the Japanese versions of the games always did just call it yen. And then America's like, well, we're not going to call it dollars. Because we're weird. Or just leave it with the yen. But and then I think, I don't know, maybe then kids would be like, oh, so Japan's actually where Pokemon live? Yes. So it's interesting if it'll have a dollar sign or are they going to use the Poke sign? Yeah. But and then I did want to comment quickly on the Pokemon Ranch where you can go and drop off your Pokemon to have them like walking around. So like when you're in the town and you saw like the Onyx in that little farm there, that was like the
you
ranch.
Can actually see the ones that you're not using.
Yeah. And could that possibly be where you could breed them? They showed like 4 or 5 of them in there, and it can't be your entire Pokedex or like your boxes. I don't think you could put like all 100 Wurmple you caught walking around. Maybe you can pick certain ones that you want to see out there. Like, oh, I love my Ponyta. I don't want to use them, but I'll put them over here.
It's nice. Yeah, so they don't have to live in the balls and stuff. I'm curious if the ranch, or maybe it was base camp and I missed it, or they didn't say, but like, you know how in Sword and Shield you can have a camp where you can like cook and play with your Pokemon. Do you think that feature will be in this one? Have you seen anything?
I haven't. When he was at camp, I did see the one dude was like stirring a soup, but I don't know if that means that you can use some of the berries you caught to cook. Food is like there's like the poffins. You didn't make them, but they had those little the Poke Puffs, you know, and then of course there's the not the stew, but curry. Thank you. It looked like stew. And the curries that you made, the little Poke Blocks, I think were the first ones where it's like you compress the berry.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
So, and then there's the malasadas or whatever from Sun and Moon. So maybe there's a new way to cook. You know, maybe it's more Japanese style cooking. You know, like in that region. Yeah. I hope you can somehow interact with your Pokemon.
That would be nice.
I know,
especially because it's all about the bonds and like not being scared of Pokemon anymore. It reminds me of How to Train Your Dragon just a little bit.
It does, yeah, because he's like, we can't be friends, but if you go and catch the right ones, maybe you can prove to people that they can be friends. Mm-hmm. To that end, I didn't see any evidence of following Pokemon. Not to say that maybe it was in another trailer that I missed. There's also like people who get the game early and data mine, or maybe they cracked some other. I don't know where they get the leaks. So it is possible. I just didn't see it in there. There is one scene where the character's bending down to like talk to an Oshawott, but I'm not certain. And they show him bending down and talking to Pokemon.
Yeah, that's right.
So maybe you can call your Pokemon out and like pet it or say like, "Oh, good job." kind of like the dog in Fable. You come on, grab your ball, whatever. Or is that him interacting with a wild Pokemon? Is it a cutscene? Like maybe he had just picked Oshawott, and so he's like, oh, now you're my friend, So just because I haven't seen it doesn't mean it's not in there. And I'm not doubting anybody who said that it is, but I wanted to know, like, to see how it happens.
Yeah.
Like, are they slow like they've been in all of the previous games?
Right. Yeah.
Or did they fix that?
And the sizing.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. We didn't see really huge Pokemon in this trailer. But
no, only Onyx in the ranch, but that
Onyx looked
kinda,
okay.
Yeah,
size.
that looks size.
Yeah, everybody always thinks Onyx is. It's kind of like Charizard. Everybody thinks that they're huge, but then Charizard's like 3 feet tall.
I was shocked when we were playing Sword and Shield. I was like, why is Charizard
Leon's
so tiny?
like here, and then Charizard's like. Not to say he's not cool. We can stand a short king or whatever.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm super excited, and that was a great trailer. Thank you for recommending that.
Yes, thank you so much. That kind of breathed new life or excitement in me for it, because I was excited, and then I watched the trailers that we had watched, and I got kind of bummed out. But this actually made me more excited again. That it is more of what I was thinking. That it might not necessarily be like people are saying completely open world, but I think it's much more open than previous games, and there's much more to do in the interaction with the Pokemon. And
it looks like there's a lot less emphasis on just constantly battling.
Yes, I was just going to say that.
Because the character is able to catch Pokemon, and they said there's some that are a little bit like the Growlithe was a little bit more stubborn.
Right.
So then you bring out your Pokemon to weaken him or maybe give him a status effect. I can't just not pet you.
Yeah, it reminds me of very much like, actually, the Pokemon Go, the teams like Team Mystic, Team Instinct or whatever, where one is, I want the relationship, but then the Galactic is like Team the smart ones, which they want to just like Instinct, whereas all the other
Mystic.
Okay, it is Mystic. I said that, and okay, so whichever, and then the previous, all the other games and stuff seem to be like you said, focused on battling. So it's interesting. And then like I remember in the series, they kind of had more like a few episodes were on, this is like going into the competitions of like cute or that, that kind of stuff. So I mean, I guess those were in the games, but I feel like I just like that this emphasis seems to be more on like learning about the
hopefully
Pokemon
like and living in harmony. I think that was mentioned, how they're like, how can we figure out how we can all live together? That's probably what Arceus would want.
Yes,
so I'm excited. Like I said, I was excited too, but like I wasn't seeing much difference in the gameplay. So this really did help. So thank you for sharing that with us. I have pre-ordered my copy. And I'm going to get the little Arceus plush, so he'll just sit here and be our little company. And I'm also going to ask off of work on the 20th. Since I ordered a physical copy, it might not get here until like the afternoon or the evening of the 8th. I think with Sword and Shield, it came in at like 6 p.m. or something like that. Some dude just chucked it at my door.
But we will play it day of. Get it out there as soon as possible. Just like that.
At least our first thoughts, just so that if you were wondering what it's like, you can see it. So please check the links below. We'll link to that trailer, the original in Japanese. I do highly recommend watching Imported Cheese and his translation of it.
Yes.
Even though I was a Japanese major, I don't remember, especially the spoken, I sometimes can't understand very well. So but it was very helpful to have him.
I caught bits and pieces. So proud of myself. I was like, oh, picture. And
yeah, right. Yeah. And I can read most of the like hiragana and katakana names, but I'm not that good, not that fast. And he translates all the kanji. He goes through all the menus. So please give him a watch. That was very helpful.
Amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we will be playing it when it comes out. We did finally finish our Nuzlocke of Shield.
Sword and Shield. We just have to edit. We'll get those posted.
So if you want to see who died and if we were able to beat it, were we
Hard blind Nuzlocke.
Hardcore blind.
Oh my gosh, sorry. Hardcore blind Nuzlocke.
Yes.
Story mode, because we play the characters.
Yes, she voice acts all of our characters. They've all got names and personalities. Yes. I'm going to miss them, so I hope they can make at least some sort of resurgence. But
yes, their ancestors will be in Arceus.
Yes, maybe. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. I hope you're enjoying all of the hype towards Arceus. This is a great time for the Pokemon community. Yes. So please go support your local Poketuber. And we will pick this up after the drop.